Can we all just take a minute and talk about Bruno? I mean, in my opinion, he is the most unproblematic character in the entire movie, but I guess it's up to you guys. Hey everyone, welcome back to my Taylor Talks channel. Make sure that you guys click that like and subscribe button so that this video can circulate. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Now, without further ado, let's get into this video. Now, for those of you guys who don't know what Encanto is, Encanto is the 60th animated feature movie in Disney. Yes, it holds a really special place in Disney. It takes place in Colombia in this American animated musical fantasy comedy. It follows the Madrigal family. Now, the Madrigal family, they are an enchanted magical family. Each and every one of them have powers, well, except for the people that marry into the family. And the only person that doesn't have power is Maribel. Each family member gets a gift and has their own door that they open up in order to achieve this gift when they're really, really small. But for some reason, Maribel just doesn't get a gift. So she grows up and she watches all of her other siblings and family members have gifts of strength, the ability to shapeshift, change the weather, see visions, and so much more. And Maribel is in the middle of all of this. Now, the Madrigals all live in this enchanted house. It's called Casa Madrigal, and it is magical and gifted just like all the other family members. And the Madrigals run and provide for the town called Encanto. That's where they all live in the town, and that's where we actually get the name of the film. Now, for those of you guys who don't know what Encanto is, it means charm, glamour, enchantment. Now, the movie really starts with Maribel sees cracks forming around the entire house, and there's a candle that provides all the gifts to everybody, and she sees that the candle is flickering for like the first time in her entire life. So she warns the entire town that Casa Madrigal is crumbling down, and her grandmother, Abuelo, goes to see her, and as well as the entire town, and they see that the house is intact, and Abuela tells everybody else to go back to the celebration because they're actually celebrating Maribel's cousin Antonio's gift ceremony. So everybody goes back to normal. Everybody just thinks that Maribel is just acting out because she doesn't have a gift and her younger cousin now has a gift. But then Maribel, she sees that Abuela does believe what she said and what she saw, and Maribel decides to save the magic. So that's how the entire movie kicks off. So Maribel goes on this huge quest, and she asks each and every one of her family members if they know anything about the magic. So she starts off with her cousin Dolores. Now, her cousin's gift is she has the ability to hear everything. And so Dolores tells Maribel to actually go to her older sister, who is Luisa, and her gift is that she has super strength. Now, I know everybody is obsessed with We Don't Talk About Bruno, but I am obsessed with Surface Pressure. Now, just a little tidbit of this movie. Each and every family member sings in this movie, and majority of the family members, especially like the cousins and the siblings, they have their own song where they talk about their gifts. And Surface Pressure is my favorite. Luisa, she talks about how she has the weight of her family on her shoulders and that she all the time feels overburdened with everything that she has to do between pleasing her family and pleasing the village and Encanto at the same time because she has super strength. But basically, even though she's the strongest person in the village and even stronger than Hercules, under the surface, she feels like she's cracking underneath all of this pressure of what she has to live up for to her family. And a lot of people on social media and just in the internet related to the song Surface Pressure because we all have that older sibling, or we are, you know, the older sibling that just carries so much in the family. So I thought that was great that that song was in there. And also a fun fact, Lin-Manuel Miranda, he avidly talks about his older sister and how she did so much for the family. So this is like a nod towards her. So I thought that was really cute. So after Maribel asks Luisa about the magic and why it's fading, Luisa, she tells Maribel to go to Bruno's old room. So Maribel goes to Bruno's room and she discovers a vision, a cracked vision that supposedly shows Maribel being the cause of the house cracking apart. Now, Bruno is Maribel's uncle, and Bruno was ostracized or outcast from the family because his gift is visions. He's able to see the future, and a lot of people used to ask him, you know, like, what do you see for my future? And what he had to say, sometimes people didn't like, so Abuela told him to leave the house. So basically the entire family catches wind of Maribel trying to ask about Bruno, and this is where the song We Don't Talk About Bruno comes into place. This is a really good song. It's actually #1 on trending right now on YouTube as I'm making this video when it comes to music. So everybody talks about the visions that Bruno told them. So Peppa talks about on her wedding day, it started to rain and thunder and lightning, and it was basically like a huge hurricane. But the catch is Peppa, her gift is she controls the weather with her mood. And the villagers all proceed to sing about the visions that Bruno told them. Like one villager said that Bruno said her fish was going to die, and then it died. One villager said Bruno said he was going to lose his hair, and he did lose his hair. And just a side note, I didn't get it at first when I first heard this song, but Bruno, he really didn't do anything wrong. He had a gift, and when people asked him to use his gift, he used his gift to actually help people and tell them the future, and people just didn't like it. They didn't like to hear it. They didn't want to hear it, and then when it came true, they just decided to hate on Bruno, which I think is meaningful in life because sometimes we want to hear the truth, but we don't want to hear what the truth entails. We want to take it back. So I thought that was great that they had that song in there. So going back to the story, so fast forward, everybody's at a family dinner because Isabella is going to get engaged to her boyfriend that night, but everything just goes into chaos because the house begins to crack. And the vision that Maribel finds in Bruno's room is taken away by rats, and it causes like the entire dinner table to go wild, basically just ruin the entire dinner and the entire engagement. But Maribel tries to chase the rats that have the broken pieces of Bruno's vision. They actually lead her down to a hidden passage, and that's how she finds Bruno. Yes, even though Bruno was ostracized and Abuela told him to leave, he never truly left. He just lived somewhere inside of the house. Maribel convinces Bruno to have one more vision to help out the entire family, and he does. And when he has that vision, Maribel sees that the solution to everything, quote unquote, is to hug it out with Isabella. Now, Isabella and Maribel don't really like each other. Isabella is her older sister, and Isabella's gift is the ability to grow flowers, and she's just the perfect person in the family, or so we think. So Maribel goes to Isabella's room and she tries to apologize and hug it out and everything, and it turns into a huge argument. And then Maribel learns that Isabella feels burdened by being a perfect family member and overall person, and that she never wanted to marry Mariano and was only doing it for the family. So this causes Isabella to truly embrace herself and make more wild decisions. Not just that she was known for making flowers, but during her song What Else Can I Do, we saw her like making more wild and exotic different plants from what she normally used to grow. And so at the end they did hug it out like they saw in Bruno's vision. So Abuela, she discovers what's happening between Maribel and Isabella. And Abuela accuses Maribel of hurting the entire family out of spite for not having a gift. And Maribel, she's like really fed up, and she just snaps at her grandmother, and she says that the reason why the house is cracking is because of Abuela. And she says that her disappointment and all the pressure that she puts on the family to be perfect is the reason why the house is cracking. It's at that moment that the house begins to break apart completely. The house crumbles, all the remaining magic in the house disappears, and so does everyone else's gifts. So this leads to Maribel running away. She runs to the river, and her abuelo kind of runs after her and follows after her. And abuelo, she admits to Maribel that all of this is happening because of her. It is all her fault, and that she forgot that what made everybody special was that they were a family. Now, during this time, we learn a little bit more about Abuela and her background. She used to be married to her husband, Pedro, but he gave his life so that everybody could live when Abuela was younger because people were chasing after them. And after Pedro died, Abuela, she kind of had to build and raise out the family all by herself, and she had 3 kids, and that's where all the magic and the gifts come from. So Maribel, she recognizes the burden that Abuela basically had to carry in building out the entire family alone. So now they have a better understanding with themselves. You know, Abuela and Maribel, they basically reconnect again. Then Bruno comes and he tries to take the blame for everything, but Abuela hugs it out with Bruno, and then they love each other again, which is so great. So the entire Madrigal family comes together to rebuild the house piece by piece, and so does the rest of the village. So everybody in Encanto tries to fix the house together, and so the house is like 99.99% complete. All they have to do is add a doorknob, and so they give the doorknob to Maribel because she's the only person in the family who's, of course, not married into the family that doesn't have a gift. So everybody gives Maribel the doorknob to actually put into the front door. So Maribel, she uses the doorknob to open the door, and this causes the house, Casa Madrigal, to spring back into life, and all the magic returns. Not only is the house magical, but everybody gets their gift back. And instead of everybody using their gift to be perfect, they finally are able to use their gifts as what they want to use it for. Bruno is welcomed back into the family, and then they all sing a song at the end of the movie. And that's how the movie goes, guys. I really like the movie. It had a lot of good themes in the movie. Like, I really like Luis's song about surface pressure, because I think we all kind of put on this face when we go out into the world, but underneath we just have these insecurities about ourselves, even though from the outside looking in, people would never know, but we do know. And then also I liked Isabella, her entire theme of just always looking like she had to be perfect, but then figuring out that she could be something other than what she looks like or what her appearance is. And then I really like Bruno's kind of theme, because like I said in the beginning, I really didn't understand like what his whole gift was. Like, I thought that whatever he said, it just came to life because of him, but all of his visions came to life because of the person that asked him about the vision. How sometimes in life people can't handle the truth, but then they blame it on others. So I thought that his entire theme was great. There's probably so many themes that are in the movie that I just haven't mentioned, or some themes that I mentioned that have more meaning to it. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts. What did you guys like about Encanto? What was your favorite song? Who was your favorite character? What was your favorite theme? Like, what did you guys just like about the entire movie? I just thought it was well put together. It's another big win for Disney. This is like the 60th movie that they put out when it comes to animation, and it shows. Did a really good job. Anyways, make sure that you guys comment below your thoughts, like and subscribe so that we can get this video to circulate. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers.